Welcome everyone to Full Range Media. I am your host, MostValuablePat, and today we got a special episode of Who Did It Better. This is the Hell in the Cell version of Who Did It Better. So find out which show did it better this week for Hell in the Cell, Raw or SmackDown. We'll find out here in just a couple seconds. Today is going to be a little special episode. We're going to do our very first pay-per-view, Who Did It Better, Raw or SmackDown for Hell in a Cell for this week. It was an overall pretty damn good pay-per-view. I really did enjoy it. But we're going to do the same format as we do for the regular shows, but we're just going to pick what happens during just the pay-per-view. So we're going to break down all the stuff that, you know, who did it better for the pay-per-views for the week. So we have 5 categories, one new one that we're going to try out, and let us know if you like it after we're done. So let's just get right down to it. First category is going to be Best Pop. So which pop did it better? Was it Brock Lesnar's for Raw, or was it Becky Lynch winning the title for SmackDown? For me, this was kind of a tough decision, but I actually picked Brock because him returning so soon and it was so shocking and sudden that nobody really expected it to happen. So that's why I picked this particular one, because it was just a shock. And Becky winning the title was cool and it was neat, but I don't think it really compared to Brock Lesnar coming back, everybody going, oh my god, holy shit, and all that kind of stuff. So Best Pop of the Night, Raw did it better. Second category is going to be the new one that we have this week. It's going to be called the Best Cell Moment. So best moment that happened in the actual Hell in the Cell. So which cell moment was better? Was it Raw's with Brock Lesnar's returning and coming back and kicking the door in and beating the crap out of Roman Reigns and Braun Strowman? Or was it SmackDown's when Randy Orton used a screwdriver to re-pierce Jeff Hardy's ear? This was actually tougher than I thought, because I saw that Randy Orton screwdriver thing and I was like, wow, this is freaking disgusting and kind of cool. So nothing's going to be able to beat that, right? Then Brock Lesnar shows up, kicks the door in, beats the crap out of both Roman Reigns and Braun Strowman. And I was like, man, okay, that's just pretty close. But I did still stick with Randy Orton using a screwdriver of Jeff Hardy. I mean, come on, that's about the most unique move you can see. Nobody's ever seen that before. And I know it didn't hurt because Jeff Hardy's ears are pierced so much anyway. It doesn't really matter. But this was the most unique thing I've seen out of wrestling in a long time. So, best cell moment, SmackDown 100% did it better with Randy Orton using a screwdriver of Jeff Hardy to re-pierce Jeff Hardy's ear. So it's tied 1-1 at the moment. Best feud, and I'm going to say kind of best feud climax, because I mean a lot of feuds are building up to this Hell in a Cell, and some ended and some going to keep going, but this is kind of a feud, you know, not feud match, but best feud, maybe conclusion, or, you know, turning point or something like that. Who did it better? Raw with Braun Strowman and Roman Reigns, or SmackDown with Becky Lynch and Charlotte? And I'm definitely going to say Becky Lynch and Charlotte. Becky winning that match was the pinnacle of the night for me. She deserves that championship. She deserves to carry it in October when they go to the all-women's pay-per-view. And I just really hope that that's going to be what she does, and she's able to go on all these shows and be able to do all these different interviews and all these different type of things, just to see if she can handle it again. I mean, she hasn't had that title in a long time, and that women's championship has come up such a big way in the last few years. So hopefully she can hold on to it and she can keep on doing what she's doing, because she's a fantastic wrestler, and that feud was amazing. So it's going to keep on going, I'm sure, for a while. But that was the best feud, you know, climax, I think, in the Hell in a Cell. So for that particular category, SmackDown definitely 100% did it better. The next one was the best match. So which match was better? Was it Seth and Dean versus Drew or Dolph? Or was it, again, Charlotte and Becky? Charlotte versus Becky. I mean, this one was actually close. The Raw match, Seth and Dean versus Drew and Dolph, was the best match on Raw that Raw had for the night. But Charlotte and Becky was the best one, just slightly over AJ and Samoa Joe. And I mean, that was like a hair on the chinny chin chin. I didn't think it was gonna be that close, because that Charlotte versus Becky match was fantastic. But the only reason why I picked that match over Samoa Joe and AJ Styles was because of the whole controversial ending garbage. So if they didn't have the controversial ending garbage, then I probably would have picked that one. But I picked Charlotte and Becky because of the end and because of how great that match was all around. Then we go to most overall show. This one to me was no questions asked, because SmackDown won four of the five categories. They won best sell moment, they won best feud, they won best match. This was SmackDown's show all the way. And it was not difficult for me, but this is the kind of the way that I broke it down. So let me explain how I broke it down a little bit. I looked at the worst match on Raw. And the worst match on Raw to me was Ronda Rousey versus Alexa Bliss. It was mediocre at best. It wasn't a very good match to watch. It wasn't very fun to watch. I wasn't really impressed by it. The worst match on SmackDown was Miz and Maurice versus Brie Bella and Daniel Bryan. Now, Daniel Bryan and The Miz are fine, but Maurice and Brie Bella can't wrestle for shit anymore. They never could in the first place. So, that to me was the worst match I've seen in a long time. Well, not in a long time, but the worst match of the night. So, then I compared the best matches of the night. And the best match to me on Raw was Seth and Dean versus Drew and Dolph. And that was the only really good match of the night. The only reason why Braun versus Roman wasn't even in the consideration, or was somewhat in the consideration of me being a really good match, was because of the whole Brock Lesnar thing happening, but not just the match. So SmackDown had two great matches: Charlotte versus Becky, AJ versus Samoa Joe. So in my opinion, SmackDown won that night, no questions asked. So for our very first pay-per-view, who did it better? SmackDown 100% did it better at this particular pay-per-view. That's going to do it for the show today, guys. Thank you very much for coming out and watching. Please don't forget to leave your comments down below, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel, and like and share the video. And we will see you guys on the next episode of Who Did It Better. Thanks for coming out. Bye.